Greetings, everyone. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day and pick number 20 of my 30 favorite cover songs of all time. We're looking at each and every day here this month in November. Those maybe very, very notable songs that were covered quite nicely by another band or artist. Maybe they did something completely different with it. Maybe they did a rendition of it that was so true to the original, but so also equally spectacular. Or maybe the original was a very obscure song that a band or artist then covered later on, made it their own, and that became like the most famous version of the song, right? Lots of scenarios. We've seen all sorts of different ones this month. Here today is an instance of a original song that is an absolute drop-dead classic that will never be eclipsed. However, a few bands have decided to tackle it over the years, and a couple did it very, very well. It's not better than the original in either case. So yeah, I'm giving you two today. In either case, they're not better than the original. Nothing will ever be better than the original. But I remember both times when I first heard these cover versions, I was like, oh, very cool. It ain't the original, but it's still really, really cool. So the original, let's go all the way back to September 18th, 1970. It appeared on an album recorded at Regent Sound Studios in London, England, as well as Island Studios, produced by Roger Bain for Vertigo Records. I'm talking about Paranoid by Black Sabbath. The song is War Pigs. Of course, Ozzy Osbourne, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, Bill Ward, the original incarnation of Black Sabbath, War Pigs, the kickoff track, the epic track to their legendary album Paranoid. War Pigs, one of the greatest metal songs of all time, hard rock song of all time, whatever you want to call it. It is, to me, arguably Black Sabbath's greatest song. And it's an amazing, amazing achievement. Just under 8 minutes long. It's heavy. It's, like I said, it's epic. All sorts of changes throughout the song. Great riffing, great vocals from Ozzy. Everything about the song is absolute perfection. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. It's so good. So, so good. And one of those songs you would think, well, who would dare to try and tackle this particular song? Well, many bands have done it over the years, actually. And ironically enough, this song never released as a single, although played on FM rock radio quite a bit. I used to hear this on the radio all the time. You still hear it on satellite radio. It's a song you still hear. One of those long, heavy tracks that you'd be surprised would make it to radio. But it's so iconic. How can it not be? So I think the first time I remember ever hearing a cover version of this song was on an album that came out on June 20th, 1989. The album was recorded at Studio D in Sausalito, California, produced by Matt Wallace and the band for Slash or Reprise Records. The album is The Real Thing. The band is Faith No More. And all the way at the end of the CD, track number 10, you get War Pigs. And I just remember thinking at the time, because, we first heard the song Epic was the first track that I remember hearing from this album, and that prompted, I heard that on the radio, saw the video on MTV, and that prompted me to go out and buy this album. And then how happy I was as I got through the CD that all of a sudden, late in the CD, you've got War Pigs. And I remember thinking, what a, crushing guitar tone on War Pigs by their guitar player, of course, James Martin. Right, and thinking, and I will say Mike Patton. Sometimes I'm kind of hit or miss with his vocal style. When he's really on point, he's a really great singer. I'm not really as into him doing all the weird, wacky stuff, but he sounds great on War Pigs. I think he's got more of that kind of high pitched tone on this, that kind of squealy tone that he does on this album. Overall, you would see his more kind of guttural and aggressive tone on the follow up album, and certainly if you listen to the Mr. Mongrel stuff, right. But I think their version of War Pigs is just crushingly heavy. It's very similar to the original. They don't try to do anything really different with it, but that's okay, right? It's just so well done that I just absolutely love it. It's really, really good. And I remember for, a while, I would just skip right ahead in the CD to go listen to War Pigs first, even though it's granted the song itself, the original, is like in the hallowed halls of great songs of all time. I really always liked Faith No More's version of that classic. And then I remember how much I loved the follow-up album to this, which kind of took the really heavy aspects of this album and kicked it up a notch. Because there's lots of variety on this album. Not the whole thing is crushingly heavy, but some parts of it are. And I think they took like the War Pigs aesthetic and made like a whole album like that, right? With the follow-up on Angel Dust. So that is my first War Pigs cover that I'm going to talk about today. The second appeared on a live album released November 16th, 1999, recorded on New Year's Eve at the Roxy in Atlanta, Georgia in 1998, produced by the band, released for Capricorn Records. Talking about Government Mule live, with a little help from our friends, and yes, they do War Pigs on here as well as some other covers. I will say I could have done a quarter of my list this month on amazing Government Mule cover songs, because to me, Government Mule could be like the greatest cover band ever if they wanted to. They could just literally, and I love their original music, don't get me wrong, but Government Mule, Warren Haynes and company could just go out and just play hard rock and blues and pop staples by all sorts of bands and make a living on that if they really wanted to, because this band does great covers. So you've got their version of War Pigs on here, which is 8.5 minutes long. So they add an additional longer guitar solos for Warren Haynes, right? It's really, really, it's just great. You would think a band like this doing like a metal classic like that would be kind of a hard task, but man, they absolutely nail it. And I think Warren's more soulful vocal approach really works on this song as well. The riffing is great. The solos are great. The band just, Alan Woody and Matt Apps just crushing it on the rhythm. So good. But man, they also do a great version of 30 Days in the Hole, right, by Humble Pie on here. They also do a great Mr. Big from Free. They also do a killer version of The Hunter, an old blues classic. They do Look on Yonder Wall is on here, 3220 Blues. I mean, so many great. Sad and Deep as You is on here as well, if you get the blown up version, right? I really thought about Third Stone from the Sun, Cortez the Killer, all sorts of great stuff. I really thought about, God, could I actually have Government Mule appear on multiple days this month? Because really, She Said, by the Beatles, there's so many great covers from this band. They do a lot of great covers. They also, like I said, on the big blown up version of this, which is not the one that I have. I need to get the ultimate version. I've heard it though. They do Pygmy Twilight by Zappa, Afro Blue by Santa Maria, right? Just all sorts of amazing cover songs. Cortez the Killer by Neil Young is really, really good too. So now all of a sudden here I'm talking about all these, songs that aren't War Pigs. But anyway, yeah, I think you get the picture. Government Mule, amazing band. Plus, never mind the fact, plus when they do Pink Floyd is amazing as well. So Government Mule, probably the greatest band that also does covers, and their covers are absolutely amazing. I would love for one, maybe they have this, I would love to have like a CD where it pulls together all of the cover songs they have ever done. Like a double disc. I got to look for that. I'm sure it's out there. I would imagine that's got to be something that's available, because I would love that all in one place. Have them all, spread out amongst lots of things. But that would be pretty cool. So yeah, that is my pick for today. We got a twofer for you. We got Government Mule and Faith No More doing War Pigs, of course, the classic from Black Sabbath. Amazing stuff. Again, neither band tries to reinvent the wheel, but their performances doing this classic track that I love so much is just so good, so well done. They add their own identity to it, but it's still the essence of the song is there. They don't try to do anything crazy with it, but maybe this is a song that doesn't need to be taken to completely different realms, right? It's just you need to be true to it, but add your own kind of personality to it, and that's okay with me. So that's my pick for today. Let us know what you think of either of these, if you heard them. Or maybe you can think of their other bands that have done War Pigs over the years. So, of course, we had Judas Priest doing it fairly recently, right? So, very cool. So, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification bell so you get alerted of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, our merch page, our Cameo page, and the Sea of Tranquility membership options, all down below. Thanks in advance for all your support, folks. It's greatly appreciated, and we'll see you soon here with more stuff. I am Pete Pardo. Tune in tonight. We got the Monsters Den coming up tonight. Also, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Myself and Martin Popoff will be appearing on Guitar Hack tonight live, so stay tuned for that. Tune in over to Guitar Hack tonight. And then tomorrow we got a busy day. We got Friday morning at the Funhouse with Martin Popoff. We've got the Professor's Picks with Ken Golden. We've got Let's Jam with Eric Porter. And we've got 4 Fusion Song Battle with Eric Porter, George LeMay, and myself. Saturday, we have 2 episodes of Album Homework Assignment. I think I miscorrectly said UK Connection. We're taping that early this week because of Thanksgiving next week, but that UK Connection will be next week. And then we've got Ranking the Albums of Wasp coming up on Sunday. So lots happening. Stay tuned for all of it. I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow morning.